everyone, it's Kathy Zilski here for Scrapbook and Cards today, and I'm excited to share with you a page from our summer issue and my Design Your Story column. Today features a heart-tugging image of my boy from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. Hold me. All right, let's get started. I'm going to show you some of the products that I will be using today. I am going to be using some letter dies. This is from the CZ Design collection. Hey, that's me. I'm going to be using some pattern papers from Pink and Main from the Be Brave collection. And I'm also going to be using some of the Pink and Main dies, these polygon dies, to cut out, which I've already done, cut out an assortment here of papers from that collection. I've got all my little shapes set aside. I've got a couple photos that I have just printed at home. One is, yes, that is my boy from kindergarten and my boy his senior year. And if you're wondering why is he wearing a hockey hat, he just does his own thing. And he said, "Mom, do you care what I do for my senior picture?" I said, "No, it's your life, baby." So I've got some fun foam set aside as well. And I've gone ahead and printed my journaling onto a piece of Gina K cardstock. This is not craft, but rather, well, the name's escaping me, but I'll have all the supplies listed below for you. Now, I went ahead in Photoshop when I set up my journaling and added this little outline just to make it easy for me to trim. I'm a firm believer in if you don't have to measure something, don't. So I'm cutting off, it's just under 1/2 inch of all 4 sides from this inner mat, if you will, that contains my journaling and will hold my photos, because I like to mount my layouts on cardstock that's darker or a contrasting color. And here I have this gorgeous In the Navy cardstock, also from Gina K Designs, and I just thought it would be really nice with the Pink and Main papers. Now I'm going to use this We Are Memory Keepers tool. It's to create either a scallop corner or a little stub corner. And I'm just going to take a little notch out of all 4 corners because I like to have just very subtle details to add a little visual interest to my page. And now I'm going to adhere this. Now I love this Easy Ground runner, and I recently got the permanent dots insert. I've used this thing for a while and I didn't know that you could get permanent dots because I am a dot adhesive lover. And actually, I'm kind of an adhesive hoarder. You're going to see that throughout this video. I have several different types of scrapbook adhesive. But now, once I've got this mounted onto the background cardstock, it's time to show you this magic, this voodoo. I have used a product called Stick It. This is new to me, and it's a really cool product that allows me to, you just put it on the back of your cardstock, and you basically are creating stickers. And then you die cut. I die cut all of those letters, and they all have, well, that one doesn't, but most of them have the Stick It on the background. So I've basically created this whole series of die cut stickers because I'm going to be stacking those letters for some dimension. Next is just time to play. I did have a general idea of what I wanted this design to look like. And I just started positioning things. And after I had the first letters, I thought, oh wait, Cole, not enough room. And I just realized, you know what? You just got to move everything over. There's going to be plenty of room for all of it. And this is what I do sometimes. Now, I am taking some repositionable adhesive because I know myself. I know that once I lay something down, sometimes I want to move it. This Westcott clear see-through ruler is really, really great for if you're like me and you like to have things line up. I use this a lot when I am trying to do just that. Because I wanted to create this really simple interlocking, almost puzzle pattern of these hexagons. There's 5 sides, right? Yeah, hexa, poly. You know what I mean. I wanted to have this really line up nice and have all of the patterns going in the same direction as well. So repositionable adhesive actually it's my savior. I use it for stuff like this because I know myself. I know once I get it down, then I'm going to be like, yeah, dude, you had it in the wrong place. So, and I did. And I had to kind of move things around just a little bit, but I got it where I wanted it. And now it's time to add the dimension. Now I like to use fun foam on the back of photos. Partly because then if your album gets smushed in any way, everything stays nice and even, right? And it's not going to dip down where the foam dots are. So what I do though is I take this scrapbook adhesives, and this is just the permanent adhesive that lays down like the little strips, and I put it directly onto the photo, because then it's much easier to put that fun foam directly on the back. Sometimes it's hard to get the adhesive to catch right on the fun foam, so I've figured this out, that this adhesive is perfect for just getting it down the first time. I'm going to be using some score tape to adhere these to the actual page, and you'll see why I prefer this scrapbook adhesives, because I just have a hard time with score tape. I know people use it really well, and the thing that's great about it is super, super sticky, but this scrapbook adhesives is also super sticky, and it works really well for that. So those are the position, and that looks pretty good. Now it's time to go ahead and start stacking my die cuts. The nice thing about this Stick-It is you don't need any other adhesive. You just peel off the back, line them up, and stack them. And the reason I'm doing this is it just creates really nice dimension. In essence, I'm creating my own chipboard letters that are a custom color that matches my layout exactly. That's one of the things I love about having an alpha die collection, is that you can do this, you can stack your letters together, and you get this great dimension. And it's a little time consuming, but I think the results are really worth it once you get it on the page. Now I need to trim off the overhang of those polygon hexa, math not my thing, but I just flip it over. I use my metal ruler, I press down really hard. You can also just trim that off with big scissors too. Isn't that cool? Just creates that nice bleed. And now I can start to line up this title. So I've got my photo in there for position, and I'm going to move it out of the way because I don't want any bulk in there while I'm doing this next step. Now my first letter does not have the Stick-It on the very back, so I'm going to have to use some different adhesive. But one thing I like to do is I just tape down my ruler, my little T-square there, so that it doesn't move, and I can keep going back to it and just pressing it down and having it be my resource. Now I'm using this Gina K Connect liquid adhesive. It's wonderful. It's super, super sticky. The nice thing about any liquid adhesive is that you have a little play time before you actually have to commit to where it is. This stuff dries clear. It also dries so hard that you are not going to be able to get it off. So it's a pretty amazing adhesive. And if I hadn't used the Stick-It on every other back, I would have just gone with the Gina K Connect glue. But now I'm just going to go ahead and peel off those backers, because basically I've created my own sticky chipboard alphabet. Again, took a little time, but I really love the ability to create that custom look in terms of having the right color. Because it always seems like whenever I sit down and look through my sticker stash, whatever I have does not match what I'm working on, and this just gives me a little more control. So now the title is all set in there, and it's not going anywhere, people. So now I can go ahead and lay in the photos. And it lines up right on the shapes. I'm so happy with how this ended up turning out, because both just line up perfectly with the journaling block, and the space is really nice. Now this is where I'm going to be using the score tape. Again, I've seen people, and I'm speeding this up because I'm really slow with it. It just takes me a while to get going with stuff. But I will say, it is super sticky, and score tape is another one of those things that your elements, they're not coming off that page. They aren't going to be there. They're going to be there forever, or at least until your scrapbook fades to dust. I think the score tape will remain. So there you go. Got my photos down, and now I just have to add a few more of the shapes, because I wanted to have this nice little visual triangle of clusters. You see smaller cluster at the top and the bottom, and that creates that wonderful triangular relationship that really leads the eye around the page. At first I thought I was going to have it over coming off the edge, but I really didn't want to lose my little notched corner. So I'm just gathering these together, some at the top, and one of the things that I wanted to do as well is try to keep my patterns going in the same direction. I think I mostly achieved that, maybe kind of missed it at the top. But that way, I've just got these little bits of repetition. That's something that I think on any page you can always just look at what sort of embellishments do you have or what sort of shapes can you cut out and can you repeat them. So I went ahead and glued all that down, and then just as a final touch, I have these little white enamel dots from Close to My Heart, and I thought, you know what, it needs a little something. And I think I always do use those little notches thinking, oh, you could add something more in there. And so I think it's just really nice. I didn't have deep navy, which I think would have also been really nice, but I like the little pop of white in all four corners because it does tend to help the white that is on this page, both in the papers and surrounding the little surrounding frame on my photos, kind of helps it to tie it all together. And that is the last touch on my layout showing Cole from kindergarten through 12th grade. And again, I'm just going to say, please hold me, because this has gone by in a blink. And that is the finished layout project. Thanks so much for watching, and you can see this page in the article in our summer issue at scrapbookandcards.com. We look forward to sharing with you so many ideas this summer that will get your summer month crafting off to a great start. So be sure to check out the issue, and I hope to see you back here again soon in another video for Scrapbook and Cards Today. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.